True Deadpool fans caught all the Easter eggs in Wade Wilson's recent escapades of being a badass and a goof. From big moments to next to unnoticeable nods, we got all the secrets, hints, and shoutouts that the most devoted fans know. Do you think you caught them all? Let's dive in and find out. Stay tuned until the end if you want to find out if Deadpool is going to save Wolverine and what Easter egg may have revealed that hidden secret. Before we get going, hit subscribe. You'll be the first one in the know on all of our new Screen Rant content.
Let me talk to the kid. You stay here with your weird secret sex lips.
Our anti-hero is notorious for dropping jokes any chance he gets. Normally, he takes aim at the DCEU, but this time around it seems like his guns are aimed in a different direction, at the MCU. With the release of Infinity War just weeks before, we're guessing Reynolds decided to throw some digs their way. To start, Wade calls Brolin Thanos right off the bat. Next, he takes another dig at Cable by calling his arm the Winter Soldier arm. But let's be real, Cable can't remove his arm like Bucky Barnes can. Of course, this wasn't where Wade Wilson was about to stop. He made his best joke when he pointed towards the creators themselves. Domino is the only black female actor in Deadpool 2, with similarities to Black Widow, so DP begins calling Domino the Black Widow. It is also a jab of giving white actors roles with the title Black in them. In another instance, Deadpool calms Juggernaut by referencing the overdone joke in Age of Ultron by saying, "The sun is getting real low, big guy." Remember that one? Josh Brolin played an integral role in Deadpool 2, and back in the 1980s he played an integral role in The Goonies. Reynolds was never going to let Brolin get away without referencing the flick that launched him into stardom. When Cable and DP have a face-off on the train, Deadpool says, "Bring it on, One-Eyed Willie." One-Eyed Willie was the captain of the pirate ship in Goonies. The second reference comes when Wade waits with Blind Al for his legs to grow back. He is wearing the same shirt that Jeff Cohen, who played Chuck in Goonies, always wore. Chuck would perform a belly dance called the Truffle Shuffle. Wade instead did a leg move a la Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct, showing us all a little more than we asked for. The kid introduced in Deadpool 2 plays the mutant Fire Fist, aka Rusty Collins. Fans have been pondering where exactly his origins lie, but the true fans know this Rusty Collins is a possible mashup of various Marvel references. Rusty in this film is nothing like the original Rusty from the comics X Factor #1. However, he does resemble Johnny, a character who appeared in Deadpool number 58. Johnny's a mutant who can't control his fire powers. Of all the resemblances to other characters, it is Evan Saganur, aka Genesis, that seems the most accurate. When Deadpool goes to take out a reincarnation of the villain Apocalypse, the only setback he has is that the reincarnation is a kid. We all remember that iconic image of John Cusack holding a boombox high above his head as he tried to make amends with Iona Sky in Say Anything. And if you've never seen the film, you've probably at least watched some version of that scene. When Deadpool realizes he needs to make up to Colossus, he shows up blasting In Your Eyes from his cell phone with a photo of a boombox on a screen in epic 80s romantic comedy style. In Say Anything, the characters finally get back together. And in Deadpool 2, Wade and Colossus fight in the final battle together. If Ryan Reynolds didn't drop some Easter eggs for his home country of Canada, would it even be a Deadpool film? Weasel, also a Canadian, drops one joke that got fans laughing. Superman coming to Earth like an American coming to Canada. Another Canada high five was an ad on the top of Dopinder's taxi that showed Alpha Flight advertised as an airline. The Alpha Flight team was introduced as a Canadian superhero team meant to take down Wolverine, a fact only committed Deadpool fans would have picked up on. More and more fans worry about Disney's takeover of the film industry. Obviously, Wade couldn't help but make some jokes to lighten up the Disney tension. First off, he lights up a cigarette twice in the film, an action that Disney never allows in their movies. Wade later mentions Bambi and The Lion King in conjunction with Saw 7, as he speaks about family members being taken out at the beginning of films. For lack of better words, Bambi's mom was taken out in one of the most heart-wrenching moments in cinema history. Stan Lee is making cameo appearances outside of the MCU, and hardcore Deadpool fans know why. Stan Lee is known for his art and creativity, but history has unfolded to reveal Lee as the main influence in all things Marvel. He shaped the landscape for all their superheroes that grace the silver screen. So it's actually odd he doesn't make a physical appearance in Deadpool 2. He's referenced twice though, and fans speculate his non-physical appearance could be because of health struggles.
It's Cable, 12 o'clock.
New plan! Use all of your imaginary powers to stop Cable from killing that kid!
Arguably the funniest scene in the film is when the X-Force parachutes out of the plane to surprise the prison convoy. With Deadpool's luck, the wind is horrific, resulting in almost the entire team's deaths. This is actually a reference from a 2001 comic, X-Force number 116, when Peter Milligan and Mike Allred took over and started a brand new X-Force with reality stars who also fought crime. The leader of this group was Zeitgeist. In Deadpool 2, Zeitgeist even has the number 116 tattooed on his shoulder, telling the audience about his death before it even happened.
Stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name!
Deadpool is not hiding the secret of wanting to be Batman. A few Easter eggs hidden throughout reveal his desire even more. Did you catch them all? First off, when Wade comes home late, he says he got in a fight with a costumed guy, and the fight only stopped when they realized both their mother's names was Martha. During an intense action sequence, Deadpool hits Cable and shouts out, "I'm Batman," while taking on a victory pose. It may be quick, but we couldn't help but laugh. Who is Irene Merriweather? Yes, she was the reporter who was covering Deadpool's awful X-Men training, but she also goes way back with Wade. In Fabian Nicieza's Cable and Deadpool, Cable called on Irene to come help him manage his new nation called Providence, the floating city. While she was there, Deadpool fell in love with her. Instead, they became friends, and DP saved her when Cable's nation was taken by marauders. Later, Deadpool was forced to kill her by Strife, Cable's evil clone. But she's back in Deadpool 2, so maybe they can start with a clean slate. So Cable has traveled back in time to kill Russell before he kills his family in the future. With Deadpool on Russell's side, he tries to tell Cable in an attempt to stop him from becoming that killer. This exact type of plot was in the comic Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender and Jerome Opena. A nod to the comic happens at the end of the film when DP gets covered in ashes from Russell's fire attacks. Deadpool's outfit matches the one in the comic during this scene.
Join us. Use your powers for good.
Heads up.
Be a superhero.
Daniel Way and Paco Medina had Deadpool join the X-Men in their run of the comics. In this series, Deadpool actually proved himself worthy by taking down Domino. In Deadpool 2, during his training to become an X-Man, he wears a training suit that is the same suit he wore in this series of comics. This Easter egg most likely went unnoticed by most except those hardcore Deadpool fans. Black Tom is first seen in the icebox scene, and he accidentally is shot when Deadpool moves Cable's gun as he fires. In the comics, starting from X-Men number 99, where Black Tom is introduced, Deadpool actually saved Black Tom when Cable is blasting people down with his guns. Leave it up to Wade to purposefully save one guy during one timeline only to accidentally kill him in another. Vanisher was one of the first X-Force LinkedIn team applicants. Deadpool decided to hire him not knowing if he was running late or if he was invisible. Vanisher, played by A-list megastar Brad Pitt, is next seen strapped into a helicopter until he crashes into power lines. Pitt is revealed as he gets fried to death. Originally, Pitt was supposed to play the role of Cable, but due to scheduling conflicts, ended up accepting a cameo instead. In 2017, there was a slew of allegations made against many men in Hollywood involving sexual assaults and abuse. Ridley Scott made the huge decision to reshoot all of Kevin Spacey's scenes after the accusations of his sexual assault passed. The actor who replaced Spacey in All the Money in the World was Christopher Plummer. TJ Miller, who plays Weasel in Deadpool 2, faced some of his own allegations, and there was pressure to have him removed from production. Instead, TJ Miller got to keep his role, but filmmakers included a joke saying Plummer respectfully turned down a role in Deadpool 2.
The name's Cable. I'm from the future. Just walk away.
Cable has one of the most convoluted and complicated backstories in the comics, which makes perfect sense as to why it wasn't covered in the movie. Cable is the son of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, who was actually a clone of Jean Grey, created by Mr. Sinister so he could have a child from Summers and Grey's DNA. Pryor ended up turning evil, but Cable's mother still got a nod in the film. In the prison convoy assault scene, there is a sign for an ice cream store called Pryor's Treats. Juggernaut was a major surprise for fans and for Deadpool alike. When Deadpool sees Juggernaut for the first time, he gets totally starstruck and starts rattling off comics he was in. the most notable being Uncanny X-Men number 183, in which Wolverine tricks Colossus to fight Juggernaut. Wolverine was trying to teach him something about being teammates. Of course, in Deadpool 2, Colossus and Juggernaut have a major fight scene, which is a nod to that specific comic. The Vespa scooter is a well-known Deadpool travel device in the comics, when Gail Simone had a run with the series. After Rhino crushes his car, the mercenary had to resort to riding a Vespa. The Vespa became such a part of Deadpool's history, it was on the cover of Deadpool number 68. In the first movie, we see a Vespa in Blind Al's apartment. In Deadpool 2, during the assault prison attack, he uses the Vespa to catch up to the convoy. Obviously that fails, so he takes over another vehicle and he's off.
Hey, careful with that Ronnie Millsap. We're downrange.
Blind Al's apartment contained a nice nod that was set up in the first film. At the end of the original Deadpool, Wade says to Blind Al that he's hidden 1,600 kilos of cocaine in her apartment next to the secret to curing blindness. In Deadpool 2, Wade lifts up a floorboard to find a ton of cocaine and a bag, which still looks like cocaine, that says the cure to blindness on it. That's a cute payoff from the first film. Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, always gets a shout out in the films. Deadpool was meant to be the least famous of his new creations in the New Mutants comics, but ended up being the most popular. During the film, Wade jokes with Domino about her luck powers. He says, "What kind of maniac would come up with a character like her?" DP finishes off the jab by saying whoever it is, they probably can't draw feet. Rob has always made fun of how he draws feet in his comics.
And please don't make the super suit green. Or animated.
You hardcore fans out there may not have picked up on this one, but not for lack of information. Just because it was never in the comics. Ryan Reynolds met Make-A-Wish Foundation child Connor McGrath because of Connor's love for Deadpool. They became friends, texted, called each other Bubba and Bubba 2, and in the scene where Vanessa and Deadpool throw possible kid names back and forth, Wade is insistent on Connor, which is Reynolds' tribute to Connor, who sadly passed away. The foul-mouthed funny dude has a heart of gold. So by now we know that Wade has a little thing for musicals, but he has an even bigger thing for Barbra Streisand in the 1983 musical film Yentl, about a Jewish girl who dresses up as a boy for religious training. Throughout, Wade sings "Papa, can you hear me?" lyrics from the film, combining it with "Do you want to build a snowman?" lyrics from Frozen. Deadpool was poking fun at Disney as he thinks they stole the tune from his beloved film Yentl. No one steals from Streisand in DP's books. If you think Taylor Swift has nothing to do with Deadpool 2, then you are sorely wrong, my friend. After the opening where Wade has unsuccessfully tried to kill himself, Colossus brings him to the X-Men mansion. When Wade is chilling in Professor X's chair, he is wearing casual clothes. The t-shirt has some cats on it that you can barely make out, but if you look closely, it is Taylor Swift's cats, Meredith and Olivia. Ryan Reynolds and his wife, Blake Lively, are good friends with Swift in real life, and that is where the cute little nod fits into the action film.
Now, prisoner 24601, your time is up and your parole's begun.
Any musical theater fans out there? Well, surprise, surprise, Deadpool 2 is for you. Wade Wilson draws the plan for X-Force with crayons in a nod to Baby Driver, but Baby Driver used a chalkboard. Anyways, back to musical theater. On the drawing, Russell is labeled as prisoner 24601, which is the same number as Jean Valjean from the musical Les Miserables, which was made into an Oscar-winning film in 2012. On top of that, Hugh Jackman played the role of Jean Valjean. Is DP trying to tell the audience he intends to rescue Wolverine from his passing in Logan?
I have both type 1 and 2 diabetes.
As it turns out, we are looking for someone with diabetes.
Peter's your man.
So many secrets hidden in Deadpool 2. Which was your favorite Easter egg? Are there any ones you saw that weren't on the list? Let us know in the comments below. And remember to give us a like, share, and subscribe to be notified of all of Screen Rant's new and awesome videos. Thanks for watching.